Well, hello everybody. Yes, this is 2 videos coming out in quick succession, but the Bleeding Your Colors Streak Sharks brand just needed to address the absolute frenzy that was the first day of NBA free agency. If you didn't know, we have a Spurs fan here and a Knicks fan here.
I just want to throw that out real quick. Spurs fan since David Robinson, Sean Elliott, Vinny Del Negro, Avery Johnson days. We're talking like mid to late 90s. So we're not talking like I jumped a bandwagon and just ran with it. I'm talking before Tim Duncan. So just want to throw that out there. You know,
You can still hate them on anyway. It's fair enough. But yeah, your team did a lot of business today.
Same business, but good business.
Mine, not so much. But there was, when I'm looking, as you can just see from the sheet, there's quite a bit of writing on here because there's quite a bit of business done.
And we're going to try to be, I mean, this is as up to the minute. You know, it's almost 11 o'clock p.m.
Eastern time, and
yeah.
This is what we got right now. I'm just going to run through it real quick and just kind of give our take on each one, how it helps, whether it's makes sense.
There's one at least that sticks out.
Yeah.
That I'm like, what?
We'll start with your team because there's 2 signings right off the bat. Kawhi Leonard is coming back, 5 years, $90 million, and Danny Green's coming in at 4 years and $45, which is bargain compared to what some other players kind of in his bracket of talent, skill set got.
Danny Green brings a lot to the table. Great defender, awesome at 3-pointers. He just fits them really well. He fits that.
Yeah, he's found his niche in San Antonio. And what more do you need to say about Kawhi Leonard?
Kawhi Leonard's a beast. I mean, now there's the whole thing of like, would he do better, or not better, but would he be the same player somewhere else? I will say this, may not be as good of a scorer in another system in comparison to the Spurs, but I guarantee you he would be just as an amazing defender here as in any other team, and that is hard to come by.
Was the defensive player of the year this year.
Yep.
Finals MVP last year.
I mean, he did
5 years
awesome.
for 90 compared to what some of these other guys got. It's a
good deal.
Steal.
Especially like I was gonna say DeMar Carroll, but we'll go into that.
Yeah, we'll get to that eventually.
So Spurs are doing well, and they have another big thing on the horizon.
They traded Thiago Splitter to Atlanta.
I didn't like, but I can understand.
To free up space because they are the front runners for LaMarcus Aldridge, which it's between them and Phoenix right now. It's looking like.
Yeah, crazy enough.
The Lakers are kind of backburnered.
Yeah, Lakers are dead. Aldridge didn't like what they had.
Yeah.
They threw a lot of, you can be a Hollywood star, and he's like, I want to be a basketball star. So.
And Phoenix did some business today, including the one signing that they brought in to talk to Aldridge as part of their pitch meeting.
Really unusual.
Tyson Chandler went for 4 for 52, and earlier in the day, Brandon Knight went, 5 for 70, which was kind of high, personally. But
Tyson, I just didn't think Tyson Chandler still had that leeway, that push to get people motivated to still play. I mean, he's an NBA champion, I know, but like he didn't do much for Dallas last year.
He was a double guy, but it's at this stage, he's exponentially better than whatever Phoenix was throwing out there at the center position last year. So if Aldridge sees that as a potential destination, maybe they could do some wiggle room, get rid of one of the Morris twins, trade Eric Bledsoe.
Well, Bledsoe has to be on his way out.
You'd think so, but it's looking more and more like he's going to stay. Like
No.
after he didn't get traded on the draft, which I still don't get why the fucking Knicks didn't do that deal. Whatever. Different story for a different fucking day.
The only thing I will say that could work in Chandler's favor is if they still have that same fucking health, the trainers, the same physicians that they had when Shaq was there, because I didn't think Shaq had anything left in the tank, and then miraculously, like, he fit the system, and that baffled me. And
Yeah.
he didn't get hurt, and he was like in really good shape. So maybe the same thing happens with Tyson.
So, yeah, now that Aldridge is, and it shouldn't be 100% that he's leaving Portland, but it's more, it's probably like 80-20 that he's gone.
Yeah.
He's going to go to either San Antonio or Phoenix. The team he's leaving is doing a little bit of business himself. They've signed Al-Farouq Aminu, 4 years, $30 million. Bit of an overpay, but you throw him on that team.
Maybe
you can work him into a couple different positions. It's
they
not
think
that bad.
And when the cap Carroll, maybe.
And when the cap goes up, it's in 4 for 30 with what a lot of these other guys got is chump change, and they're looking at throwing a max deal at Damian Lillard, 5 for 120, or just a little under, which is big.
Yeah, it makes sense, but in the same sense,
it's
scary. Just
For a
because
guy-
of Portland's
for a guy-
history.
And for a guy who plays with that big of like a reckless abandon, a guy that just wants to take every big shot, wants to get to the rim, face the big guys, he's fearless. That just spells freak injury. For me at least, but that's as the eternal pessimist Knicks fan. I'm just waiting for that shoe to drop.
I was gonna say that's also eternal Portland fan, because look, they gave money to Roy, and he fell apart, and Odin's falling apart, and they haven't been able to sustain any sort of good run, except for this brief moment of time with Aldridge and Lillard. So I don't know. That's scary. He's young. He's still young, but what's 5 and 120 when Aldridge is gone and all you're left with is fucking Aminu and like
Nicholas Batum,
and
because they have
you don't even have Robin Lopez.
They have 3 more guys on here: Robin Lopez, Aaron Aflalo, and Wesley Matthews. Lopez, it's kind of up in the air. He's going to get pretty decent money. His brother just re-signed with Brooklyn, 3 for 60.
I couldn't
Him
believe
and Thad
that.
Young went back to Brooklyn. 3 for 60 for Lopez, 4 for 50 for Thad Young. Brooklyn didn't have much wiggle room. They're trying to trade Joe Johnson to free up a little bit of space, but it's just...
Who the fuck would go with Joe?
Memphis was looking at it, but they want Brooklyn to take a lot of the money, and they don't have a lot in the terms of trade chips to get back. They're trying to get Marc Gasol back. They probably will, but that just leaves them with little wiggle room. But
do you
then
really
got
need him?
Wesley Matthews, I think he will probably end up in like Dallas, one of those Texas teams.
How much do you think they throw? What, probably $12 million towards him or something crazy?
Yeah, probably something in the. He could probably get like. What he could get is. I don't even want to like say it right now because Amon Shumpert got 4 for 40, which just Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland splurged 5 for 110 on Kevin Love. They're gonna have to bring LeBron and Tristan Thompson back. They put out a qualifying offer to Dellavedova. So they're gonna be on like the tax line. It's gonna be bad. They're gonna.
I love it though.
Yeah.
They'll be great, but at some point that's gonna catch up to them. I don't know. I would like to think it does.
But yeah. And then you look at what LeBron's old team is doing. Miami re-signed Dragic, 5 for 90, and they're trying to set up a 2 or 3 year max deal for Dwayne Wade, which I think he deserves because of the 2 pay cuts he took to get those guys in there in the first place.
Right, Riley is a cold motherfucker.
And this past one that he took so they could get Bosch back when LeBron jumped ship.
And Bosch is playing, right? Like that. The hard thing is.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's worked out, but I'm not sure if if he'll be the same guy again. Will you be able to play that hard when you know that your ticker is fucked up?
I'm curious to see if Hassan Whiteside is gonna live up to.
He's the big, no pun intended, big question mark for them because he was pretty much a D-League scrub.
Yeah.
And they picked him up on the cheap. I think he's making less than $1 million. If he can do what he did last year, they'll be able to hop back up into like the upper echelon. I liked the Justice Winslow pick. They're going to be able to bring a lot of those kind of bit pieces guys back on the cheap. Mm-hmm. They got Dragic back, which was big. Made sure that trade was not for nothing.
I would have let Dang go. I'll be honest. I think he's just way past his prime.
Yeah, he's a guy that you kind of just. Then why did you sign him? Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
It was such a wasteful amount of money. I feel like they could have gotten somebody else.
Yeah. Well, we'll just go into the weird signings now then.
I'm just gonna get it out of there. All right. The pick, the one, well, not one, because there's a couple. Amir Johnson. This guy's, I looked it up. He's getting average last year around 9.3 points, 6.3 rebounds, and the Celtics are apparently so desperate that they gave this guy 2 years, 24, $12 million a year for a forward/center. Like you're not even getting 10, and you're not even getting double doubles.
And the team that he's leaving signed DeMar Carroll, who's had about 70 good games in his career. 4 years, $60 million. If he continues to progress upwards, that will be a good deal for them once the cap goes up. Yeah. But if he turns into Landry Fields 2.0, a guy that they kind of just bid against themselves, because I was reading something where the Hawks weren't even in like the top 5 bidders for DeMar Carroll. They're just like, yeah, you can go.
Which is surprising, at least. Which
leads us to the next one. Paul Millsap, 3 for $58. He came into Atlanta at a bit of a discount, and now they were the best team in the East. He's getting paid. Kind of spurned a little bit more money in Orlando, but...
Which is surprising, because Florida, they have the no tax.
Yeah. But Atlanta seems to be a better situation for them.
Makes sense. Now with Splitter...
Yeah, they'll have to move some of their other big guys. Like, just...
They'll keep Korver, right?
The periphery guys. Yeah. Like the guys making like 1 point.
Maybe Savalosha.
A couple of the 1 point, like Mike Scott, those guys. Guys making like 1.2 million. Yeah. Something like that. Just to make sure they're not.
They got that Antic guy, right? Or something?
Yeah, Pero Antic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's I'll just go over it.
Oh, that is the dishwasher. That's what's been making that sound. And now it is finally over. So don't worry, guys. Sorry about that sound.
Just in time for us to talk about your Chicago Bulls bringing back both Mike Dunleavy and Jimmy Butler for $5.95 for Butler and 3 for $14.4 for Dunleavy Jr.
3 for 14?
Both very.
That's actually a really good
deals. A lot of people were thinking Butler would kind of take a shorter term deal.
I thought so.
And double down on himself.
Yeah.
But he took the money up front. I think he's got an opt out after 4 years. But he's gonna be a Bull for the next
the prime
of period.
It's basically the prime of his career right now.
It's a move that the Bulls need to do.
Yeah.
Because
pretty much the face.
Yeah, Rose is kind of sliding back into like a second banana type deal. Other guys like Pau Gasol aren't going to be there for much longer.
Yeah.
Noah, same with him. I think Noah's a free agent next year. And yeah, that
pretty much solves
the only other
Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
He signs a gigantic.
I was going to say, there's not much in the way of stuff left in terms of actual signings. Anthony Davis just got a super max. 5 for 145. 145. That's, you got to pay the brow, man. That's making him the highest paid player in the NBA, starting when the extension kicks in. And it just, that Lillard, I think it's leaving Kevin Durant and like Joakim Noah as like the second banana on that fucking free agency list next year that was originally looking so good.
Next year is gonna be really. It's gonna be even worse.
It's looking even worse because as a Knicks fan, I'm sitting here going, this year it's like, look, the cap's gonna go up. There's gonna be all these guys next year. You can really make a run, and now all these guys are just getting snapped up.
And you got like Horford.
They're getting Al Horford's another one. But I wouldn't put past Atlanta dropping an extension on him in the next couple of days. Just the way that the free agency period has gone, these guys are getting locked up earlier and earlier. It's like the way that baseball teams a couple of years ago started just dropping these like big 9-year, 8-year contracts on these guys that they just called up.
Or even like hockey.
Like, oh, hockey's even worse.
Like 12-year. Like
they had to. Yeah, they had to do a lot of tinkering within the sport to derail some of that shit. But yeah, I'm looking at what's left for this year. The big names left are Draymond Green, who just broke off talks with Golden State. That could just be
maneuvering,
an early tactic, but I think he'll end up back in Detroit.
That would be wild.
The dog disagrees. Went to school at Michigan State. They have a little bit of money. They're trying to trade guys. I think he'd fit well there. Next guy is DeAndre Jordan, who wants 4 years, and he wants to be a big part of the offense, which I don't think you should ask about when you can't hit a jump shot.
Yeah, you're just a dunk machine.
Throw. Yeah.
I don't understand this. It's like he's just a fucking dunk machine that can block.
Yeah.
Like, don't even say that he has offensive moves, because every time I see it, it's alley-oop, alley-oop, alley-oop.
And that's what, when you go past the, that, you get to Greg Monroe, who is the
perennial Knicks.
Seems to be the only target that the Knicks got to talk to before they were ruled out.
Tobias Harris, maybe?
Tobias Harris. But he's a restricted free agent. And Millsap not going there frees up a lot of money for him. Another Piston that the Knicks were rumored to be talking to was Reggie Jackson. I don't know why. Just don't, please. Same with Monta Ellis. Just please don't. If you're gonna strike out on all the big guys, just
sit this one out.
Yeah, sit it out. Hope for better things next year. You don't have a number 1 pick next year.
Thanks.
Yay, fun stuff. Thank you, Bargnani trade and Anthony trade. That's gotten 0 combined finals appearances.
I mean, either way you look at it, that trade didn't
like
even that didn't work out for anybody.
Like I just started off high with we're talking about the NBA, and just now that we're talking about the Knicks, I'm just crashing. Like I've gone from like just bright-eyed awake, little couple yawns, but nice here, and now I'm just like I just want to go to bed. I'm just tired. We started talking about the Knicks, and it's just over. All my energy is gone. My soul has been crushed.
What do you think could be any sort of semblance of a recovery for the Knicks this free agency?
Just
a follow?
What the fuck is Aaron Aflalo gonna do? What the fuck is Greg Monroe gonna do? It's something that they have done to themselves with just the way that Dolan has run the franchise, the way that he's bestowed all this stuff about Phil, and they've had this doctrine, they want to run the triangle, they want to do this, but they started it off by just bringing in a bunch of people that didn't fit the system, and then bitching that, oh, well, this didn't work because we don't have the guys yet. Well, these are the fucking people that you brought in, you dipshit.
Yeah.
They got rid of Hardaway Jr., who's kind of a square peg, round hole type guy. They drafted Porzingis, and they got Jerry Grant through a draft trade, which I like. I like Jerry Grant. I think he should be starting over Calderon if he has a good summer.
Yeah, I
think he's a kid that is pro ready. He's tough. Every single big game that he played in, he was one of the, if not the best players on the floor. Duke, Kentucky, all those big games. Porzingis has a hip thing and may not play in the summer league. So, but I'm trying to be optimistic about it, and I just don't want them to kill the kid.
Yeah.
But it's inevitable because if they would have traded down even 2 or 3 spots and taken him, you would have got a player in, and you would have gotten some of that shine taken off it. But he was the 4th pick. They made this big thing. It's oh, if we don't get Russell or Okafor or Towns, we're gonna trade the pick. And then when it comes to it, and I don't want to say it was oh, nobody was making deals in that section. If you wanted to make a fucking deal, you had 3 picks to fucking do it. You knew that if, after Towns went 1, Russell went 2, either a team was trading up to take Okafor at 3, or the Sixers were just going to say, fuck it, we're taking him.
I would have listened to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Because the Celtics threw the kitchen sink.
But there was everybody that wanted to move up just for the spot itself. Not to particularly take Porzingis, but just wanted to move up into that area. Well, when Okafor came off the thing, Justice Winslow became the next big guy that they wanted to move up for. And then just everybody got cold feet. They're oh no, we're going to take Porzingis. And he's the guy we wanted all along. After they spent a month saying how, we don't have time for projects, we don't have this for that, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And now, kid's hurt, and everybody wants to shout him and call him a bust before he's played a single fucking game. I hated the pick because, 1, I knew he was going to get run to the ground. He's hurt now, so he may not play the summer league. But the fucking second he's able to play, they're going to run him out there for 30 minutes because you got to sell those fucking Porzingis jerseys. You got to fucking make sure Taylor Swift and her crew get to see the new shiny toy when they pay fucking $1,500 a head for garden seats.
I feel bad for Spike.
They're gonna run the kid into the ground. He's not gonna have a chance, and it's gonna make the pick look that much worse. And because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and it's fucking sad, man.
Well, I mean,
it's sad to just know that you have no hope, and that you're sitting here looking at a guy like Greg Monroe, who would be a good player, but he's not going to be an all-star in the Knicks.
No.
He's not going to make them a fucking transcendent team. He's not going to make them a playoff team.
He's like a semi-Ben Wallace, I guess.
Oh, he's better than that. He's a better offensive player.
I mean, he's a good rebounder. But as good of a rebounder as Ben
Wallace. He's kind of stiff. Doesn't have much in the way of a jumper. He can pop a little, probably like 10, 11 feet. But he shit in the pick and roll, which is good for the triangle because, God forbid, you do what the rest of the league does. But I don't think he's not a guy that can come out and do like the Horace Grant, like shoot from the elbow. He can't do that.
He's a good fourth player on that team.
Yeah, if like say you put Greg Monroe on Cleveland with the roster they have, that team would win the title.
He'd be better than Tristan Thompson.
Because I think Greg Monroe would be better than Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson would be a better rebounder, but Greg Monroe would be able to do more offensively in the post.
Yeah.
To draw people away from the shooters, to draw people away from LeBron, yada yada yada. But it's just it's a barren market. It's
one thing I will say is if there's anyone that has if there's anybody who I felt had your best outlook and best motivations, especially during draft night, was Phil Jackson. Can you, for the record, can you re-quote or at least kind of give a semi-resemblance of what Phil Jackson's interview was with Chris Broussard post-draft?
I can't tell you really what he said because it was just a bunch of rhetoric.
Well, no, what you said.
Oh, what I said is that he looked like he just came from 22 consecutive funerals. He looked like he had just watched his family, his friends, his wife, his dog, his yoga instructor or Zen clinic person, just everybody he cared about. His weed dealer. Just everybody just died in like a not nuclear explosion, like something, like a train accident.
Or a drive-by.
Where you knew that they suffered before they died. That was the look that he had on his face, and he's just sitting there, just Chris Broussard trying to just be professional about it. Like, man, a lot of booze in there. People just, can you give an explanation to the Knicks fans of why Porzingis was the pick? Is this a guy that you guys were looking at? Because you kind of said you were going to trade, blah, blah, blah. And Phil he might as well have just had cue cards sitting up there in James Dolan's handwriting going, well, this is the pick that we wanted to make all along. I really think the kid has a lot of upside. He's going to do really good. I hope that the fans will give him time to.
Someone's dangling like a bag of weed.
Yeah, it was like, remember the movie Office Space? Orlando Jones' character where he's going, I have to sell magazine subscriptions to keep myself off crack. That was kind of just the pace of his interview, and I wish I would have rather gotten how many subscriptions to Vibe that Peter got instead of that draft night, because it was just brutal.
So, crazy thing, I was listening to, and this has just become like a Knicks just rant, but that's funny.
It's just turning into that. Yeah.
But I don't care. So I was listening to an ESPN podcast, and they had Frank Isola on, who's the beat writer for New York.
Yeah, Frank Isola just doesn't care.
Yeah, so
he's in the same boat as I am.
I love it. Everything. He goes and he's like, no, you like the announcers, the commentators like, no, you're not serious, and he's like, no, I'm very serious. So he said by this September, there was a 70% chance that Phil would still be with the Knicks in some capacity, meaning 30% chance that he would be gone completely. And then they said by next summer, when Duran and whoever else is left would be a 50-50 toss-up that he's still around some form or another.
He's 70.
With the Knicks.
I mean, he obviously this was a money grab. He just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He came here. He was supposed to make fucking chicken parm out of chicken shit, and he just.
Would you be pissed though, Adam? Like, let's say September came and he left, and then like 5 months later he was like, "I'm gonna join the Lakers."
I wouldn't fault him for that. That's where his woman is. That's where his life is. He came out here and he's trying to do the long distance thing, and he's trying to just make it work at MSG, because he's gotten fucking those ducats, man. He's getting $12 million a year. Just fuck. Actually, no, I think it's like 15. I think you got $15 million a year to just sit around and act high and.
Fisher must just be like, fuck, I'm gone.
Yeah, but the thing is, too, is that now that fucking Isaiah Thomas is back there lurking with the Liberty.
That must scare you more than anybody.
It scares me more than anything in the world. Like, nuclear holocaust, no, if it happens, whatever. I'll die quickly.
At least,
but
like, Phil has some semblance of just knowing who he is.
But the thing is, like, just Dolan has this boner for Isaiah that makes no fucking sense. And I know the second that Phil leaves, and he won't fulfill his contract. I'll put that out there right now. Phil Jackson will not go his full contract with the Knicks. He will leave early. He will take a buyout, or he'll just leave and just say, "Fuck it, I don't care if you pay me. I have enough money. Look at my rings. Suck it. I'm out of here." But Dolan, like, you got Steve Mills, who's kind of like he's the GM, but he's about as much of as the GM as his fucking pencil is, and you got Isaiah lurking there.
Now, why did they let go? Now, Dolan had to fire Isaiah the first time, so why did they let him go? Wasn't there a whole thing with the secretary or?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason. He would have probably kept him on.
Yeah, because he was so good at what he did. He hit like one draft pick, and
yeah.
Now I'm just getting sad. Can we just like wrap this
up?
Sure. Because this is getting depressing.
So just quick thing.
Tomorrow.
So where do you think? Okay, Jordan, Aldridge.
All right.
And who's the other big hitter?
Well, okay. We'll say.
I think
Draymond
Aldridge.
Green.
Yeah, Draymond Green.
All right, and there's other big guys like we didn't touch into. Paul Pierce went to the Clippers.
Yep.
3 years, $10 million. Good work for the Clippers. Solidify the bench. But I think, like I said before, Draymond Green's gonna end up back in
Detroit.
Not back in Detroit. Well, back in Michigan, where I went to school for the Pistons.
Jordan's tricky.
Let me say, Greg Monroe goes to Portland.
Really? Random. What made you think that?
Yeah, it's just
whatever.
my fucking luck.
Because Aldridge is going.
Yeah, Aldridge goes to San Antonio. They make it work. They trade Patty Mills. They do whatever they need to do to make the money work.
Yeah.
DeAndre Jordan goes to the Mavericks.
Really? So no Clips?
No Clippers. Who else? Tim Duncan resigns with the Spurs. Him and Manu take fucking substantial pay cuts.
I think Manu comes back if they get Aldridge. If they don't get Aldridge, I think Manu retires. I think Duncan stays no matter what.
What other big guys are there? Monta Ellis.
Did the Love deal surprise you?
Yes. That it happened this quick and it was for that much money.
Not the years?
Everything about it.
Yeah, okay.
5 years with no opt-out, $110 million, and in Cleveland on the first day, no one expected that.
He was definitely pissed at the Lakers. I can see that.
The Lakers, and at first the Lakers were getting all like these interviews because these guys were on like the West Coast already. So the Knicks not getting interviews, I'm like, oh man, these guys are going to the Lakers and they're getting like pissed off. But
I think the Lakers are fucked for a while. Until Kobe's gone, I think that they're fucked for a while. Because I don't see anybody.
But here's the thing, they will be back.
At some point, yeah.
Because they're the Lakers.
If Jerry West is still alive, they should just pay him a shitload of money because he knew what he was doing when he was in charge of that team.
And the Knicks will stink forever.
Yeah.
I will die championshipless as a fan.
You can always be a fan.
No, that's not how it works.
Oh, okay.
I'll just bask in my misery.
Okay.
I'll be like the Cubs fan of basketball. I'll just embrace the pain.
Wait for her to catch that basketball, like.
Yeah. Just like a ball that could have been saved to somebody, and just Spike jumps out and he becomes the barman.
Yep.
That makes He Got Game 2 or something. All right.
So that should pretty much sum up our whole draft cover. I'm sorry, free
agency, day one. It was nutty.
Yeah.
Follow, like not exactly me on Twitter for the free agency stuff. Real GM and Zach Lowe. I don't know the exact handles, but just
Wojnarowski too.
Adrian Wojnarowski is a big one. Those three, I'd say.
They'll get you through.
Just go type in like Woj, W-O-J, Yahoo. They'll come up. Zach Lowe, Z-A-C-H Lowe, and Real GM, R-E-A-L GM. Click the basketball one. If you have all those three, you won't miss a single fucking thing when it comes to free agency. But you know what you will miss? The Knicks signing a good player.
Yeah, that's a good way to sign this off. So, yep. You can follow Trav,
subscribe,
follow me,
share.
Yep.
Share my misery. Share my pain.
Mm-hmm.
Share it all.
Check me out.
Share the dishwasher.
Share the dishwasher. Share the beer.
Share
the channel that I have as a side project.
Yes.
Cat vs. Al. Share your multiple articles.
I just got everything everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll when I like share this thing, if you see it on like Google Plus or Twitter, that was the word I was struggling for. Tumblr, wherever I put it. I'll put, especially the basketball stuff.
Yeah.
The Knicks things with, and yeah, you can just follow all those and just be miserable with me because the NBA is where
Knicks fans die.
Where Knicks fans
kill themselves. The NBA, where Knicks fans Cobain themselves.
Yes.
Peace.
Done.